Hey travelers, welcome back to Laura's Travel Talk. Today, we're talking about top things to see and do in Western Canada. Canada's got 10 provinces. So in order to make this video not so long, we're going to do the Western 4. And those would be British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So we'll take a look at those. They have stunning landscape. They have the Pacific coastline. They have the city. They have the Rocky Mountains. They have prairies, sports teams, good food. Let's get into it. So let's go over to British Columbia and look at Vancouver. Vancouver's a coastal city and it's got urban charm. What makes it great? Well, it's got a perfect blend of nature, culture, and food. And it's home to Stanley Park, named after Lord Stanley, hence the Stanley Cup in hockey. The Capilano Suspension Bridge and Granville Island. And I've been to Vancouver a number of times. It is a fabulous city. It's got a lot of different things, just like it says. It's got the urban charm, it's got the landscape, it's got the mountains, it's got the parks. It's gorgeous. For visiting Vancouver, you could rent a bike, and you could cycle all around Stanley Park. That Stanley Park is huge. And then, there's little different areas where this area has the totem poles, which are from the Native Americans that first inhabited. And then you could also go over to the Capilano Suspension Bridge. This thing, I want to make sure that you see how big this bridge is. It's very long. But my tip would be get there early to avoid the crowds. I think you can buy tickets for that one online too. Or you could take a trip out to Granville Island. It's got the big public market out there. You can get a lot of different seafood, shop around for odds and ends. And it's just kind of a fun day out there on the water and lots of little shops. So take a look at that. So next we're going to take a look at Whistler Mountain. Whistler Blackcomb is known as one of the best ski resorts in North America, and it is pretty stunning. I've been up there. They have a peak-to-peak gondola, so you can go all the way across from peak to peak, and you get unbelievable views. It's pretty gorgeous. And some extreme skiing, as you can see by the guy in the picture. So if you're a skier or a snowboarder, fabulous place to go in the winter. And then in the summer, it is also gorgeous because you can do the gondola and go peak to peak on that as well. But you can go hiking and biking and zip lining. But my tip would be, stay at Whistler Village and you can have a cozy little European style experience. So go enjoy because it's really gorgeous. So next up, let's take a look at Okanagan Valley. It's, both wine country and lake life. It's fabulous. Look at that. It looks like Italy, for crying out loud. It is Canada's top wine region, and it's famous for its vineyards and scenic lakes. And it's a perfect mix of outdoor activities and the culinary experiences. You should visit Kelowna. That's a picture of it there. Gorgeous shoreline. Or Penticton Vineyards to get the best wineries and lake activities. You can try ice wine. It's a Canadian specialty made from frozen grapes. That's unique. Or you could rent a boat or a kayak and go out on Okanagan Lake and just have a relaxing day. Gorgeous all the way around, right? Enjoy. So next up, let's look at Vancouver Island because it's got the rugged coastline, but it's gorgeous. Look at that. It's got ancient rainforests, and it's also a top surfing spot. I know. Get your wetsuit because it's going to be cold, I think. But you can, go climbing on all those rugged areas, but it's gorgeous. You can go surfing out at Tofino. Look at that. Snow in the background and surfing in the foreground. I dig that. That's pretty cool. And you can also visit Bouchard Gardens in Victoria, British Columbia, and they are stunning. I have been there. That is a beautiful day right there. They also have whale watching tours from Victoria or Tofino too, so enjoy. Okay, our next stop is going to be a little east to the next province in Canada, which is Alberta. Alberta is known as the land of the Rockies, and it's got Banff National Park, which is Canada's crown jewel. Is there any wonder why? I mean, if you have not been up there, this picture should entice you too. Oh my gosh. It's so gorgeous up in Banff. It's got the majestic mountains. It's home of these turquoise lakes, which are fantastic. You can't get a bad picture. And then it's famous for Lake Louise, which is one of those really beautiful turquoise lakes, Moraine Lake, and the Icefields Parkway. You can get up on that thing and walk all the way around with the glass bottom. A little frightening for people who are afraid of heights, but cool nonetheless. So my tip would be visit Lake Louise early in the morning to avoid crowds. You could take a gondola ride up to Sulphur Mountain for breathtaking views. Or if you want to spend a little money, you can stay at the Fairmont Chateau, Lake Louise. It's a little pricey, but so worth it. Enjoy. I think the next stop you should look at would be Jasper National Park. This is just as beautiful. It's a less crowded alternative to Banff, because everybody knows about Banff, but it's filled with glaciers, lakes, wildlife. It's great for stargazing in Canada's largest dark sky preserve. You can take that malign lake boat cruise to Spirit Island and just cruise around out there. How beautiful is that? You can also drive the Icefields Parkway, which is one of the most scenic roads in the world, which is that bridge I just showed you in the last slides. And they are also home to the Athabasca Falls, which are stunning waterfalls. And, you know, it seems like you can't go wrong because the beauty is everywhere. Enjoy. Well, we can't be in Alberta without going to Calgary. Holy cow. Calgary is the heart of cowboy country. It's home to the Calgary Stampede. It's like the biggest rodeo in the world. It is a vibrant city, and it's got modern skyscrapers and a cowboy culture. So it gets a little crowded during Calgary Stampede time, but it looks like a blast. And here it is. A couple years ago, Kevin Costner was the, I guess, Grand Marshal. He opened the parade for the Stampede. And then you get to see all kinds of Calgary Stampede rodeo events through the days. Just a fantastic thing to go do. I can't believe I have never gone to the Calgary Stampede because I talk about it all the time and I never get out there. Dork. Anyway, just really a fun time. If you visit in July, you'll be there for the Calgary Stampede, and it's also known as the greatest outdoor show on earth. And you should probably get tickets and lodging early. And then you can also take a trip out to Drumheller. That's the home to the Canadian Badlands and Royal Tyrrell Museum with all the dinosaurs. That looks pretty fun, looking out of the dinosaur's mouth. And there's another picture of the Badlands. So make a week of it. There's a lot to do. Enjoy. Okay, we're going to hop east again to the next province, which is Saskatchewan. And that is known as the land of the living skies. Saskatchewan is interesting. It has a prairie wonderland. It's one of the most untouched prairie landscapes in North America. It's home to bison, prairie dogs, and stunning night skies. So you can watch out for wildlife like the bison in the picture, coyotes, pronghorn antelope. Those are unique looking. And little prairie dogs. Cute. And you can explore the Badlands Parkway for scenic views. It's a long drive through that prairie land, but beautiful. Or you can go stargazing because this is one of Canada's darkest skies. So you have a pretty good shot at seeing some northern lights. Enjoy. So next we're going to take a look at Saskatoon. Saskatoon is also a prairie city, but it's got some riverfront charm. It's got a art scene and a food scene, and it's got the riverfront. That would be the riverfront in the winter, but look at it in the summer. Beautiful. It's got some art museums and art galleries. You can visit the Wanuskewin Heritage Park to learn about Indigenous cultures. And you can go to Meewasin Valley Trail for a scenic walk along the river. Or you can go out to this park and just have fun because it's along the river. It looks like a fun day. I guess it's warmed up. Everyone's in the water. And then Saskatoon is known for its beautiful and delicious berry pie. Look at those. Saskatoon berries. Kind of like blueberries. But holy cow. Yummy. Okay, we're going to go a little bit east and we're going to go to the next province, which is Manitoba, the heart of Canada. Manitoba has this, first let's look at this town of Churchill. It is known as the polar bear capital of the world. Why is that great? Oh, that polar bear kicking back is cracking me up. It's one of the only places in the world where you can actually see wild polar bears, up close. And if you go in October and November, that's when the polar bear migration season is. And you can get on one of these tundra buggy tours and go right up next to the critters. Isn't that awesome? They also have great beluga whale watching in the summer in Manitoba. And in July or August, you can see thousands of beluga whales in the Churchill River. So that looks pretty cool. All right, let's hit Winnipeg while we're in Manitoba. Why is Winnipeg great? Well, it's home to some world-class museums. One of them's there in the picture. Great food, historic districts, beautiful riverfront walks. Look at that. That's gorgeous. You can go to the Forks, which is a vibrant gathering place where everybody goes, and it has markets and restaurants. And then in the winter, you can skate on the world's longest frozen skating trail when the Red River freezes up. It just goes on and on. That's kind of fun. Or you can go over through the beautiful canopy of lights to the markets, and you can sample some Winnipeg-style rye bread. It's a famous local delicacy. So enjoy. Well, we certainly can't leave Canada without talking about hockey. Am I wrong? I love hockey. So in the western region of Canada, you have 4 teams. You have the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, the Winnipeg Jets, and the Edmonton Oilers. We move forward. Let me hit real quick on all of these teams. The Winnipeg Jets were established in 1979, and in 1996, they were transported to Arizona and became the Phoenix Coyotes. And then in 2011, a consortium bought the Atlanta Thrashers, picked them up, and moved them back to Winnipeg and took the name over again. So the Winnipeg Jets are alive and well. They have been to the playoffs 8 times and never won the Stanley Cup. Next up, we have the Vancouver Canucks. They were established in 1970. They've been to the playoffs 29 times, and they have been to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1982, 1994, and 2011, and never won the cup. So sad. And then, next up, we have the Calgary Flames. They were established in 1972. They've been to the playoffs 25 times. And they have won the Stanley Cup 1 time in 1989. Very cool. And lastly, we have the Edmonton Oilers. They were established in 1972. They've been to the playoffs 26 times. They have won the Cup 5 times. 84, 85, 87, 88, and 90. Seems like a hell of a team. And by the way, they have none other than probably the best hockey player now, Connor McDavid. So I'm going to say they're going to rack up a cup or 2 more. Just my guess. Well, the maple leaf is on their flag, so we got to talk about maple syrup. And Canada is known for their maple products, and they are good. So you can buy some of that maple sugar candy, which is, really crystallized sugar, but the texture is really kind of cool. And then you've got different kinds of maple syrup in every store that you can imagine. And then you've got the maple syrup snow candy. What is that? Well, we used to make it, and those of you who follow me know that I lived in northern Minnesota when I was young. You take a little area and you put clean snow, and then you pour little strips of maple, stick a little stick in it, and it'll freeze up in no time at all because it's so cold out there. And you have maple taffy on a stick. Delicious. So, I want to thank you all for watching and following my channel. I love it, and I couldn't do it without you. And I hope that you are able to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments if you have some other things that you want me to look at or advance on the list. But otherwise, I will see you next week. And until then, don't eat too much maple and don't get too cold out in those northern regions. See ya.